Hello and welcome to the Girlhood Podcast. Here I have one of my very good friends, Abby.
Hi.
Abby, you want to tell them how we met?
Oh my God. Should we make up a code name, do you think?
Oh, that was my lip gloss. Not sponsored. No.
No, we can't say names.
We could call her. Let's call her. What's a good name? April.
April. Sure.
Yeah.
We'll call her April. So I knew this girl, April, in high school, and she's 4 years older than me. We weren't super close with each other in high school. I actually was a lot closer with her brother. And she started this bathing suit company, and she basically made me her lead model for all of her campaigns. So I shot her merchandise, I shot her bathing suits for like years, and then we didn't end up becoming close until like last year. And that's how I met you. We were on a shoot for one of her bathing suit launches.
Yeah, she invited me to come shoot. Or no, actually Zoe invited me.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
Zoe invited me, and then she's like, "Oh, do you want to do the shoot in blah blah blah? It's gonna be like a country themed shoot, bikinis, cowgirl hats." I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
Cutesy. It was out in like
It was
this
actually the
farm.
photos were so good.
Yeah, well, that's in part to the photographer. Totally, the photographer killed that. For
Photographer killed it. But anyways, this said girl, April, she ended up doing something so absolutely horrendous to our dear friend Zoe. And okay, so first of all, she did this Galentine's Day thing for her brand at my apartment. Like, she randomly hit me up, and I wasn't really friends with her or close with her at all. But
You had
she's
only
like,
met her like
two times?
two
Maybe
times
one
before.
time. Oh, no, 2 times. One at the beach and then one in the
Right.
country farm place. And so she's like, "Hey, I'm doing this Galentine's event, little pop-up shop thing for my brand. Can I use your apartment?" And I'm like, "I mean, sure. Yeah, you can use my apartment. I'm not going to be home, but
Yeah, you were
I
in
guess
Hawaii. For like
yeah, I
a
was in
week.
Hawaii. I forgot I was in Hawaii. I was literally in
And
Hawaii.
I was watching her cat. Like I was watching.
Yeah, you were babysitting my cat.
Yeah.
Cat sitting. And so then I was like, "Here, I'll just give you my key, and that way you can set up and everything. And then I'll be home that day, but it's not going to be till later because it started at like, what, 4?" And so I had no expectations, really. I just thought, like, she's going to do her stuff, and then she's going to clean up and then be out.
So crazy how none of that happened.
Right. Like, you would think that if somebody's using your apartment and they don't really know you that well, and it's like for their brand, that maybe they'll clean it up after themselves.
Well, the crazier part to all of this is that I was watching Kaylee's cat that week while she was in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, you had my key.
And so
Because you were watching my cat. That's right.
Yeah, and so I passed the key along. But before I had right, so I passed the key to her, like, to go throw her party. But the whole week before, I was watching your cat. I was, up in there.
Yeah.
And the day of, was it the day of the pop-up? No, it was the day before the pop-up.
Yeah.
We'll come back to the day before. But she asked me, wait, hold on, I'm getting my story mixed up.
That's okay. We can.
The day before the pop-up, I went over to Kaylee's house to check on the cat again, and then I cleaned Kaylee's apartment. Like, I just tidied everything up. I figured she'd want a nice, like, clean house to come home to. And also I wanted it to be nice for the pop-up because I knew that was happening the next day. And a month in advance, asked me if I need to stop saying her name.
April
is
April.
her name. April asked me like a month in advance if she could come to my house, which is right down the street, and basically cook all these little treats for the party and like
Cake pops.
Yeah, specifically.
The cake pop gate.
Literally, cake pop gate will be the death of me. But she came over to my house, and I had already worked an 8-hour shift that day, and I let her know too that, hey, I'm going to be working the day of the pop-up. I'm going to be working the day before the pop-up, but you're more than welcome to come over to my house and bake your things, and I'll help you because I'm a baker myself. And so she came over and continued to make me slave over some cake pops for 8 hours.
8 hours.
We made 46 cake pops, Kaylee.
Oh my God.
And nobody ate a single one.
And they looked like
They looked like shit. She treated me like shit the entire time I was making these cake pops. Like, and I worked in a prep kitchen before. Like, I know how to prep for mass amounts of people, and I know how to make a goddamn cake pop. And
cake pop.
She was just treating it like it was second grade. I had no clue what I was doing, and I wasn't even in my own house. It was like her house at this point.
She took full control of Abby's kitchen.
Full control, and wish she would have done that with the dishes
while
too,
you're like tired after your shift. I would literally
exhausted after my shift.
I don't know how you had the patience for that, honestly.
I like didn't, honestly.
When I would get home from a shift, it was literally like rot on the couch or in my bed, scroll on TikTok, like turn my brain off.
At least a couple hours.
Yeah.
No, we got straight to
like your feet hurt, you're tired.
And meanwhile, I'm making these cake pops, okay? I'm making them, and she's in the corner trying to send over an email to like send everybody the address for this pop-up party that she was charging $25 for per person.
Sending the address the night before is also kind of crazy.
That's crazy. And she's asking me, how do I word this email? How do I do this? And I'm like, girl, if you think I can run your business better than you, just
run me a check.
It's already pretty obvious. I'm running your social media. You're asking me for advice on every single little thing. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Anyways, and so she's asking me how to send an email to the people she had at her pop-up. And honestly, that night was just a show. Literally, we stayed up all night baking these cake pops. And then at one point, I just got exhausted over it. And I was like, you know what? You do the decorating. They literally came out. They looked like they had buckets of dumped on them.
And like, no, they actually did. I was like, is this frosting or
pink sprinkles on top, like just to add the extra sparkle, I guess. And yeah, they came out looking like shit. And at midnight, she decided she wanted to cook some blueberry muffins. And I was like, girl,
starting a new baked item at midnight. Oh my God.
Like,
but
can I go to bed?
Besides the baked goods, so come to the day of the pop-up, I didn't really know what was going on. I got there what was it like? It was already maybe 6.
It was like, we showed up like 2 hours later. So yeah, it had to have been 6.
Yeah. And it started at,
I think at 3.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I get there. There's like 10 people there. A couple of them were my friends from like my old soccer team that I was on in elementary school. And I was like, oh, hey. And they're like, oh, you live here? And I'm like, yeah, this is my apartment. They're like, oh my God, good to see you. I'm like, yeah, how do you know April? They're like, oh, we just followed her like bikini account. Da, da, da. I'm like, oh, cool. Probably because I posted it for free. And I'm like, you paid to be here? They're like, yeah, we bought tickets. I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. You're charging my friends to come to my apartment. Like, what? And then, but I was like, okay, whatever. Like, get your bag, I guess. And then we all went out to dinner after. Things were fine, I guess. She said if you come to the pop-up and you buy a ticket, if you buy a bikini there, it's half off. And then,
yeah.
And then who bought a bikini?
Jordan bought a bikini. My best friend Jordan bought a bikini. And literally it was me, her, my other friend Liv. We're all standing there together. And Jordan's looking at this bikini and she's like, oh my God, how much for this? I really want this one. Usually they're like $105, $100, something like that for both pieces of the bikini. And she verbatim said, since you came to the pop-up as a little thank you, it's 50% off. So you just have to pay $50 for this bikini. And Jordan was super grateful. She paid her the money. You know, she bagged it up for her. And
this part baffles me. I still can't get over it.
And then, like, not even 24 hours later, maybe a day or two later, she DMs Jordan and she's like, hey, I don't think you paid me enough for the bikini. You're supposed to pay me like $100 and you just sent me $50. And Jordan was like, oh, my bad. Like, I think I must have gotten it confused, but I could have sworn you said that because I came to the pop-up, it would have been 50% off.
And multiple girls were there and heard that conversation.
Exactly.
Like, she didn't make this conversation up in her head.
She just was trying to get an extra $50.
It's just like, it's so wild to go hit someone up after they paid you and be like.
Let alone my best friend who has also done free promo for her. And especially after I've done all this work for her for free.
And she didn't pay us for the photo shoot.
No.
She didn't pay me to use my apartment.
Mm-mm.
She did give me a free bikini, but
she gave me some boxers that had a Los Angeles Apparel tag on the back of them that she sewed a logo onto in the front. Yes, all of those little merch pieces, like the boxers, the t-shirts, all of that is from Los Angeles Apparel, and she just either embroidered or put her logo tag like on.
That's wild.
Yeah.
She's like handmade
in Southern California. Please.
Ethically made.
But on top of all, like, I asked her if I could sell my clothes. Like, I had a bunch of thrifted clothes that I like will sell on my Instagram story.
Which would be such a cute idea to have multiple vendors at a little pop-up. Like,
right? And like I helped her with her last pop-up and we got that pop-in. Like we had tattoos, tooth gems, the clothes, her bikinis. We had permanent jewelry. Like we had all kinds of stuff at this first,
yeah, that's cute.
you know, little pop-up. And so I asked her, hey, would it be okay if I sold my clothes again? And she was like, actually, no, like I'm kind of set on my vendors right now. There's a vibe that I'm curating. And I was like, totally understandable. Like, no worries at all. Like, I'll just go and enjoy the pop-up.
Right, the one vendor.
The one vendor. There was no vibe. It was her and her bikinis and then one permanent jewelry girl.
It was her getting absolutely faced, drinking glass of wine after the next.
Literally. And on, like...
people just kind of standing around. There wasn't even really music.
Can we talk about, like, the snack table, too? Like, the decorations were straight out of the Dollar Tree, I swear.
Yeah.
It was... What vibe? There was no vibe.
The vibe was bad. Like, as a business person, failed.
No, we literally refunded our friends' tickets. I refunded... Or we
out of our own pockets.
Yeah, out of our own pockets. Some of our friends got
it was embarrassing.
refunded.
I was like embarrassed to say like this is my apartment, but I was like, yeah, this is my apartment, but I have no clue what's going on. I am not a part of this at all. It's just my apartment.
And I had already been trying to distance myself from her. We took a trip to New York that just did not go good at all. It was kind of like
you always know who a person is when you travel with them.
Yeah, and I traveled with her before, and like the first time we had really just started becoming friends, so I don't think I grasped the full scale of everything.
Yeah.
That second trip, the trip to New York, I was like, I don't think I really want to be friends with you anymore. And I sure as hell don't want to do you any favors anymore.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, this bitch is my biggest fan and has been talking shit about me pretty much our entire friendship. That seems to be a common thing with her.
Yep. And also come to find out, how many months later? So that was February, obviously.
Yeah, this had to have been like a couple weeks. Like
a couple weeks later. So she had been spending a lot of time with our dear friend Zoe, who we love very much, and she's literally the most awesome person ever. And Zoe has a little brother who's in high school. Mind you, April is 27. She's 27 years old, okay? And she had gone to family parties at Zoe's and like met her younger brother who's literally in high school and like a minor. And Zoe even said like she rid on the back of his dirt bike with him, and they thought like, oh, it's so cute, like she's like playing with my little brother. So Zoe FaceTimes us and she's like, I just found out that April was DMing and Snapchatting my little brother trying to link up to
literally, these weren't just some like little bro, like, you know, whatever.
No, it was like, you can't tell Zoe about this, okay? Like, it has to be our little secret.
Our little secret.
Huh? I'm sorry, what? Like, our little secret? That reminds me of when I was a teenager and like the older gross men that would like say that to me, and like I'm traumatized from it.
Dude, he's in high school. Like, me graduating high school, I couldn't even see myself with a boy that age. Like, I was just so over the high school boys, let alone at the ripe age of 25. Like,
yeah,
a minor.
Like, what? And it wasn't only DM, it was Snapchats too.
Yeah.
And was she sending him dirty pictures?
I don't know if she was. I don't think that was confirmed, but she for sure was like, what do you think about older women? Like,
oh, that's right. Yeah,
pull up the DMs.
Have you ever had sex before?
No.
I'm just kidding.
How's your little girlfriend?
Yeah, it was so shocking. And Zoe, she was mad, but she was more heartbroken than anything because she's like, this is my best friend.
Yeah.
And now I have to cut her off because she's trying to secretly my minor brother behind my back. Like, what?
Well, and that was the thing for me. Like, she can be and talk about me all she wants. Like, whatever. I'll just like distance myself from you. But the fact that she got Zoe's little brother involved made it 10 times worse and made me be like, no, like I actually need to tell you that I don't want to be friends with you anymore because this is so embarrassing and unacceptable.
Yeah. And then she had the audacity to text me after and be like, hey, I know you probably heard some things about me, but I left my ring at your house and like it's sentimental to me, so like can you possibly get that back to me? And I was like, blocked.
Blocked.
Yeah, literally, that was crazy.
Yeah. But that's how I met Kaylee.
Yeah, now you know.
And then we survived April.
Maybe it's not about the minor accusations, but the friends we made along the way. So yeah, now Abby and I are close friends, and we also just so happen to live like 5 minutes away from each other.
Literally, yeah.
And Abby's single, and she's been dating around and having the absolute worst experience of her life.
Oh my God. It's
what the
rough
fuck is
in
going
these
on?
streets. It is so rough in these streets.
Every story you tell me, we're like, oh, I went on a date with a guy. Do you want to know how it went? And you tell me, and I just get more and more shocked as the story goes on.
Dude, it's like the bar, excuse me, the bar is in hell at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even really do the dating apps nowadays. Like, it's kind of for fun, for jokesies. Like, me and my girls sometimes will put it up on my projector and scroll through all my likes. And
That's
like,
actually funny.
I take offense to some of my Hinge likes. I'm like, where did you goblins come from? And what makes you think that I want to hang out with y'all? And it's not always about looks, obviously, but Hinge is just...
But it is.
Yeah. But like dating apps, like it's so weird meeting someone on dating apps. It's obviously not organic. It's not very fun. And majority of the time, all of the rejects are on dating apps. Like they're there for a reason because they can't keep a woman.
Yeah.
And so my last boyfriend, I met him off the Hinge.
Same.
Met him off Hinge. Whatever. That was a whole disaster in itself. But I'm not super avid on the dating apps. I did meet this guy in person at a bar, and I told this story on TikTok, but
oh my God.
He basically literally was using me for my body totally. Like
the phone call was wild.
Yeah, I recorded a phone call between us because I just knew something was weird. Like we had gone on maybe 4 dates at that point. Yeah, like 4 dates. And I just like, when you can tell that a man wants to have sex with you and they make it so painfully obvious.
All their comments are about your body.
Yeah,
and like
just so thirsty and
want to come over to my place and watch a movie as a date.
Yeah, and like pretty bitches relate. Like who doesn't want to do that with us, obviously, but who's going to value our time and take care of us and like actually respect us on top of
and
that.
like maybe get to know me as a person.
Yeah, like maybe, know my middle name before you get in my pants. But yeah, he took me out on a couple of dates, and on one of our last dates, I actually spent the night at his house, not for any like reason at all. Like he invited me to come over and watch a movie, and what girl doesn't like to snuggle? Like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I sleep so much better when there's a nice snuggly person right next to me. So we didn't do anything, and that clearly pissed him off so hard that he Ubered me home in the morning. Like he didn't even want to
brunch, breakfast.
No, like verbatim said, I think I'm going to Uber you home. It's like 40 minutes to get to your house and then back. Like, I don't really feel like doing that. And I was like, okay, I don't care. Like,
at least you paid for the Uber.
Yeah, exactly. You paid for an Uber comfort.
Wow.
So that was just weird. And then he invited me to go out to a baseball game with him. And I was like, cool, let's do it. Fine. And to be honest, I was getting douchebag vibes from this guy like already, but like I'm bored. I'm single. All of my friends are in relationships and or married. Like I just want something to do. Like
yeah, you're like red flags. Don't show me that.
Take me out to the ball game, sure. And so he offered to take me out, and he texted me and he was like, before I buy these tickets, I need to call you and we need to talk about something.
That's how he did the call?
Yes, like no context. Like hours after he was like, okay, I'll get us the tickets, he said, I need to call you. So I was like, okay. And something in my like woman intuition just knew like this was gonna be weird. And I was like, I don't know, like I just got the feeling. So I started recording it on my MacBook, and he picks up the phone. That snippet that's on TikTok is literally 2 minutes into the conversation. Picks up the phone and he's like, hey, so I just feel like we've been going on all these dates and I've been taking you to do all these nice things, and I'm just not really getting anything in return. Like I'm putting in so much money and so much effort and like planning all of this, and like I'm just like not really getting anything. Mind you, he's only taken me to dinner at like, it's not that hard to get a reservation. You're not planning.
And it's not like he's taking you to Nobu.
No, like you're not planning anything. You're just setting a reservation, dude. Like this isn't above and beyond. This is bare minimum.
Right.
And I knew exactly where the conversation was going. I said, so I'm just curious as to what exactly you're expecting out of me in return for you doing all this stuff. He verbatim says, like I was just expecting at least like, you could let me like reach down your shorts or like touch you. And I literally paused for a second, was like,
Gagged.
no. You did not just boldly say that right now.
Hey, before I buy these baseball tickets, like, are you going to let me you?
Smash?
Are you going to let me touch you down there? Because, like, these baseball tickets are, like, at least $40.
Like, what? Well, not even that. Like, $8 baseball tickets up at the top, and you think I'm going to cough it up? Like, what?
Bye.
No. And I literally, like, let him kind of run his mouth because I was like, where else is he going to go with this? He just kept being like, you just won't even, like, let me touch you. You won't even, like, we barely get to kissing and blah, blah, blah. And I go, that's hilarious. This whole conversation is hilarious, actually. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you think because you put your card down on the table that I owe you something? Like, I owe you my body?
Do I look like an escort?
Do I look like a
Did we meet on Seeking Arrangements?
No, literally. I was like, if you want a prostitute, go get one because she's not here. Like, what?
I think you signed up for the wrong app.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what the do you mean? Like, what is
wild? I'm not getting anything in return. He's getting your time, attention. He got to snuggle with you.
Dude, I am like, what? Like, you have a bad bitch sitting across the table from you. Be grateful.
Right.
Be mindful of why you're on this date.
Maybe have some good character and she will want to have sex with you.
Well, and we met at a bar 2 weekends ago. Like,
yeah, that's too soon.
That's too soon.
All my other past boyfriends, I would make them wait like 3 months.
Yeah, at least until you're my boyfriend.
Right.
I don't understand.
Like when you're looking for something that's going to last, like something good.
Yeah.
You try to have some sort of morals.
Yeah, exactly. Like you think
I mean, at least he showed you who he was.
No,
that early.
He made it so painfully obvious, like on our dates, but then that conversation just like sealed the deal for me. Yeah. I was like, okay, like you just outed yourself so hard right now.
There should be a website with like a list for these men.
I'm saying, like,
do you know what Megan's Law is?
No.
It's like my grandma.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. My grandma used to literally sit me down when I was a kid and make me like study all the faces in my neighborhood that were registered sex offenders. There needs to be a website for like registered disgusting men.
Like rate my ex.
Yeah, literally somebody please.
So many of them would get like negative stars.
Yeah, because I want to know like who the fuck am I dating?
Yeah, or like just be able to like look up their name, like
because
you just for the girls.
You can do digging, but there's really so much. You can do digging, but there's really only so much you can find out about a guy. Like, you might be able to find his ex-girlfriend, maybe his mom's Facebook account, but like, what's the story?
What's the dirty, rotten story?
Like, I'm at the point where I'm gonna start DMing the ex-girlfriend and being like, "What's your story?"
No, literally, like, "Hey, girlie."
Hey, girlie.
Have you talked to this guy before? Like, what's he like? Is he nice? Oh, yeah. He did this to you? Okay.
Oh, he cheated on you. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Right.
This information is needed. Like, I need to know what
it's so vital. It's so important. But the guy you're talking to now, he seems okay at the moment. Well,
it's okay.
They're always okay in the beginning.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I've been pursuing you this whole time. Like, I really have shown that I like this guy, and now it's his turn. And if it doesn't start to happen, basically, long story short, we met a year ago at another bar, whatever. I was actually with April, and we were promoting her last pop-up, the one that was like actually popping.
Was she at the bar handing out flyers?
Yeah, thanks to my great idea of, hey, we should pass out flyers at the bars. And like, because the pop-up was the next day, it was a Saturday. So I was like, this is, good promo. And so we're like passing out all these flyers at the bar, and I saw him. He's the cutest, tallest one at the bar, and I was like, ooh, real estate right there. So, I ended up talking to him. We had a date planned, and then literally the day of the date, he said it was his grandma's 80th birthday. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm never speaking to you ever again. So that was like the beginning lore of us talking.
Hey, I actually have to cancel my grandma. Her second cousin is having
80 today.
Like,
I totally forgot it's her birthday.
No, the one date that you were telling me about when your friend set you up with that guy.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's actually the craziest one.
Can I tell it?
Yes, please. In full detail. Don't leave anything out.
Okay, so my sweet, sweet friend Liv, if you're watching, I love you.
And we love you, Liv.
Don't hold this against you. But Liv and all of my friends have really been telling me, like, you got to get out of the house more. Start saying yes to things. Like, just get out there. Stop saying no. Stop rotting in your room. So she was at this like geriatric bar with her grandma and her mom, and they're like locals at this bar. They go out there pretty often, so they know the bartenders and the servers and everything. And this bartender was always taking real good care of her grandma and like always getting her whiskey, and like same with her mom. Like at this point, like they're familiar with each other. And so Liv went in to go hang out with her mom and her grandma, and they start chatting up this bartender. We'll call him Kiki. And so Kiki was real good to Liv's grandma, and I don't know, they thought he was super sweet and super cute, and like,
if grandma approves, you're like,
grandma,
he's got to be a good guy.
Grandma and mom approved.
But then again, grandma's generation,
I don't know. And it's funny because me and Liv have like very different tastes in men, and like even when we're going through my Hinge, she's like, that one's cute, he looks like he has a great personality, and I'm like, really? Really, queen? Like you want me to be with that thing? But so basically she sets me up with this guy. She gives me his Instagram, his phone number. We start texting for a couple weeks, and he seemed like so sweet and normal over text message. Like he's being very complimentative, being very sweet, telling me about his life in Hawaii and how he like loves his job and everything. Like he just seemed normal.
Seems like he actually has character. He's not just trying to.
Yeah. And like my friend found him, so I was like, okay, cute little way to meet. Like not some dating app or not. I wasn't at the bar, she was, but
right.
So he texts me one morning and he's like, hey Abigail, could I take you out to lunch today? I'd love to, get you some lunch. And I was like, oh, I'm actually busy running errands, so lunch turned into dinner. And maybe an hour into me getting ready for this date, he calls me on the phone. He's never called me before. I was like, okay. So I pick up. I'm like, hey, what's up? Hey, are you getting ready right now? I was like, oh, shit. He's going to cancel right now. He's about to be like, sorry, something came up. Like, I can't. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm getting ready. And he was like, okay, cool. Long pause. I was like, okay. We're still on for 6:30, right? And he's like, yeah. So I'll come and pick you up at this time, and by whatever we'll be at our reservation. I was like,
okay, buddy. Thank you.
See you later. And I thought maybe, okay, first call jitters, like maybe he was nervous or something.
He's just cute.
Like
he's
that.
Awkward.
Yeah, he's awkward. He's nervous.
Maybe he doesn't do this a lot. We like that.
No, exactly. And so I was like, okay, kind of weird, but whatever. I didn't think much of it. And then the time of our date arrives, and nothing. Hearing nothing from this man. I'm like, where is he?
I f***ing hate that feeling.
And then he texts me, and he's like, hey, so sorry. I had to pick something up. I'll be at your house in like 10 minutes. I was like, oh my God, he's getting me flowers for our first date. Like,
I love being delusional.
So sweet. Like, he's picking up flowers for me. And 10 minutes goes by, nothing. Another 10 minutes goes by, nothing. I'm like, okay, am I getting ghosted right now? And he just sent me his location, like indefinitely shared his location with me. No text. I was like, huh?
Okay.
And then like a couple more minutes go by, and he's like, hey, sorry, like I'm right down the street. I'll be there in like whatever. He's right down the street. I can track him. I can see exactly where he is. I'm like, right. Okay,
so he's not lying.
Yeah. And so I'm just sitting in my room, like waiting for all this to happen. And I hear this like bass pull up, like just bumping, pulling up in my apartment complex. And I was like, what the? And I go into my roommate's room and I peek out her window. There's like a blind spot where you can see who's outside, but they can't see you. So I'm looking, and it's his car. And he gets out of the car, and he just looks like gaunt, like very much like sunken in the face, like nothing like the Instagram picture at all. He literally looked like Jay Alvarez, like in the Instagram picture I was sent. And when I went and like looked at his Instagram, I was like, oh, he's cute, like little surfer boy from Hawaii, super cute, I'm down. No, he literally looked like a walking skeleton. Like, oh my God, he just looked like sickly. And he was wearing like a nice button-up shirt, nice dress pants, cute. Like, and I'm in jeans and like a cute little top. Like, I was like, damn, he's dressed better than me. Okay. And the music is like bumping, but my windows are thin, so I'm like, oh, maybe it's not that loud. Like, it was all just very weird. Like seeing him, and then the music, and then him being late. It was just like, okay. I get out of the
Spidey senses are tingling.
No, literally, the intuition's tingling. I get out of my house and I walk down to him, and I'm like, you look nothing like these Instagram pictures, like very much sickly. And I was like, okay, like maybe he's got a great personality. Like, okay,
Maybe something happened. Maybe he's come up with the flu.
maybe, or he's on drugs. I don't know.
Right.
But I was like, oh, okay, nice to meet you. Like I'm still being very polite to him.
And fragile.
Yeah, and fragile. He's very fragile.
Shake his hand very delicately.
No, literally, I was like, are you gonna like crumble into a million pieces if I like hug you too tight? He could fly away in the wind. Anyways, so I get in the car, and the flowers we were speaking of earlier weren't exactly the ones that I was thinking of because this car reeked of weed.
Oh, God.
Reeked of weed. I was like, yo, different kind of flowers. Oh, and the music blasting. It was, in fact, blasting the whole time. Like,
personally, I hate blasting music.
I can't.
Like, call me a grandma. I don't care.
No,
it
I
hurts.
can't focus. Like, if someone's talking and the music's playing, my ADHD is like the music.
Literally, if I'm in the car and I'm trying to tell a story or talk to someone, I'm like, can I turn this down?
Yeah, and also I don't want to like touch someone's stereo. Like,
I have stereo anxiety.
yeah, like I don't want to turn it down or like be too much. So I just kind of let it blast, and I get in the car, and he's like, "What did you do today?" And I'm like, "Oh, I did what I did."
Screaming over the music.
Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, I did this," but and then he was like, "Oh, okay, nice. When was your last relationship?" Like,
What a way to start a
we haven't even
what a way to start a first date.
We haven't even pulled out of my apartment
He's
complex
like, fuck
yet.
it.
Like, what the? I was like, when was my last relationship? And I told him.
For some reason, that makes me feel like his last relationship just ended.
No, literally, he was like, yeah, it was yesterday.
We broke up this
Well,
morning.
he let me know, too. He was like, oh, okay, nice. What was wrong with him? And I was like,
Wild.
what wasn't wrong with him? Like, we're still in the parking lot, by the way. Like, the car's still in park. He starts driving and telling me about how his ex-girlfriend was a Clippers girl and how she used to get him into all these cool parties and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, we're on red flag number 3.
Wow, what a catch.
And we are still
Go get your girl.
in the apartment complex.
Oh my God.
So he starts telling me all these stories, and we're yelling over each other, over the music, everything. The whole time we're driving, we are yelling over each other. And we're like maybe halfway to the place where we were going to get dinner. And he's talking about Coachella and talking about, have you ever been to a music festival? What kind of music do you like?
Talking about his ex-girlfriend, how
Yeah,
hot she
how
was.
she got him into Coachella.
She
I
could
was
dance
like,
so good. She was so flexible.
literally. But I was like, oh yeah, I went to Coachella last year for my first time. I just went to see Frank Ocean. And he's like, oh, so you like Frank Ocean? I was like, I love Frank Ocean. He's like, okay. Goes on his phone, typing, and then turns on Thinking About You by Frank Ocean and just cranks up the volume even more.
Oh my God.
So as if it weren't already so
The
bad.
most generic Frank Ocean song you could
Literally, I'm
possibly
like, you
pick.
just ruined that song for me. Like, what the? And I'm just sitting there like, okay.
Volume 100 Frank Ocean.
Start texting Liv. I'm like, count your days. Sleep with one eye open. But we get to the dinner place. He pulls into the valet, and we get out of the car and we start walking through the hotel. And he's like, so my room is upstairs. And I was like,
Bye.
what? Wait, are you serious right now? And he's like, no, I'm not serious for now. I'm like, okay.
Why is he kind of funny?
No, I'm like giggling. I'm like, please be so for real right now. But at that point, I was like, okay, there's no second date. Like, even in the beginning with the first conversation, like,
The music alone, honestly.
yeah, like, hello, you're trying to get to know me. We have no clue who each other are. Like,
Your car reeks of weed and you're blasting music at level 100. Like, what are you in high school?
yeah, literally, it felt like high school. He's 28, by the way.
Oh my God.
So that was fun. But
Fun fact, they never mature.
yeah, no, they're always the same. But we get into the restaurant. I'm giving everyone the help me eyes. Like, I'm like, please, if you ever catch me here again, just know, like, this is for fun. Like, this isn't serious. Like, I don't mean it. Like,
I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean to be here.
I was set up.
No, literally, I was set the up. And we sit down at the table, and our server literally was AI generated. Like,
Oh God.
these bougie restaurants, it's kind of funny sometimes because they're so formal, and it's almost like, are you a real person? Like,
It's funny because I used to work at a bougie restaurant and they trained you to be so formal.
Yeah.
Like you have to greet the people by the last name on the reservation. I would always, like, if I felt like a table was chill, I would be like, hello, nice to meet you, Mr. Blah, blah. I'm like, you guys don't have to like.
yeah, well, and it's
Like, we
one
can be
thing
chill,
too, like the rich, like wealthy old people of Orange County
Yeah.
coming in, like that makes sense. But like for us two little 20-year-olds, this guy was like so formal, and I was like, okay, This is funny.
It's like reading off a script.
No, literally, it felt exactly like that. And we sit down at the table, and he's like, so what kind of alcohol do you like to drink? You strike me as a tequila girl and a Sagittarius. And he's like bugging out. And I'm like,
he's an astrology girly.
yeah. I was like, what makes you think that I'm a Sagittarius? And he's like, I love Sagittariuses. Like, they're just so like blow. And I was like, I'm a Libra.
Did your girlfriend teach you that?
No, I literally was like, your Clipper girl is Sagittarius. Like, that why you love her so much? I was like, oh, I'm a Libra. And he's like, I love Libras. They're amazing. He like, I don't know. Like, the vibe kind of went from like, okay, you're just some like weirdo to like, are you on drugs right now? Like,
yeah.
Like, he got kind of weird there. And then oh yeah, the tequila girl. And so I'm thinking like, I'm not going to drink on this date because this man's going to roofie me. Like, I got to watch my drink right now. And he just like kept pestering it out of me. And I was just like, white wine. Like, I guess I'll drink some white wine. Looks at the menu and picks out a $250 bottle of wine. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I could either be stone cold sober on this date or I could drink this nice wine. And
I'm drinking the nice wine.
I drank the nice wine. I was like, okay.
And I'm taking the bottle home.
Yeah. So we start drinking the nice wine and he's like, what kind of appetizers should we get? Actually, let's get the oysters. I hear they're an aphrodisiac.
Bye.
And I was like, okay. I'm either going to Uber halfway home through this date or like I just have to suffer through for the sake of like being a woman and not being stalked after, or like
when a man is recommending the aphrodisiac on the menu, it automatically gives so that you want to fuck me after this.
Yes.
And then the comment about the room upstairs.
Yeah, it just wasn't looking too good for this guy at this point. Like, okay. And so we get the oysters. They tasted awful. And then what happened? Oh, he's like spitfiring questions at me, like just question after question after question. I was like, okay, like my turn. Like I gotta.
I low-key hate it when people do that when you're at a restaurant and you're actually trying to like read the menu.
Yeah, I'm trying to like eat, bro.
Like, the server's gonna come back. Like I don't know what I want yet.
Literally, I'm like, can we get this date over with as soon as possible? But he's like spitfiring questions at me, and so in return, I start like asking more about him. I'm like, oh, where'd you grow up? Where'd you do this? What? Eventually, we get down to like the nitty gritty, and I'm like, are you Team Kendrick or Team Drake? Be for real.
There's only one right answer.
There's only one correct answer. He tells me he's Team Drake. Wrong answer. But then I continue to tell him why I like Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, oh, I think like lyrically he's much more of a poet. Like I give an educated answer.
Not to mention Drake's a pedophile.
A minor. But I like give him my answer and he was like, you know, for an Instagram model, I thought you'd be quite dumb. Literally was like, oh. No, I wasn't in a Skims ad or working for NYX Cosmetics or Red Bull or none of that. No, I'm just an Instagram model. And I was like, right. Well, it's a good thing I'm not an Instagram model. Where's the bathroom? So I get up, I leave. I call my girl and I'm like, what the is wrong with you? Do you hate me? Do you actually hate me? Like, why did you do this? I'm sorry, I didn't know. All this stuff. I'm like, okay, just know, like, watch my location. Make sure I get home, okay? I go back to the table and he's like, by the way, like, when I said that I thought you were dumb, I didn't think you were dumb. I mean, like, maybe I'm a little dumb right now because I have a gnarly concussion.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait.
You drove us here.
Exactly. You're drinking. I was like, what do you mean you have a concussion? He's like, yeah, me and my friend got in this motorcycle accident on Sunday. It was really bad. And like, my friend's in the hospital and I have a concussion and all this stuff. But I couldn't really stay for too long because I had to like get out of there.
Out of the hospital?
No, out of the accident.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what do you mean you had to get out of there? And he's like, well, this actually would have been like my 4th DUI.
Oh my God.
What do you mean?
How do you even rack up 3 DUIs and you're not in jail?
Literally exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, do you have a license right now? Or like, are we driving legally? Are you on the run? Are you like, are they looking for you? And so
what did you do with your motorcycle? Is it still there?
Right? I was like, what do you mean your 4th DUI? Like, what do you mean? He's like, we were driving down the street. We were pretty fucked up. And next thing you know, I'm hitting the concrete and I'm rolling into someone's front lawn. And I was like,
oh
Oh my God. He shows me his arm. His arm is fucking covered in just
Oh, he wasn't lying.
oh babe, it's to the bone. Like it is
Oh my
scraped
God.
up. He like lifted up his shirt. His whole like side of his body is up. And I was like, oh my God, are you okay? Is your friend okay?
Should I call a doctor?
No, literally. I was like, he was like, my friend's still in the hospital. I was like, how the did you get? Basically, I think he made it seem like he has like a very affluent family, and by the way he was describing the DUIs, it seemed like he kind of worked his way out of the second and the third
Daddy's
one.
money.
Yeah, like he bought his way out of his DUIs.
I'm so jealous of people like that.
I'm like, how? Like, how do you do that? But that's how he got out of his DUIs, and yeah, that was kind of, you know, a fun part of the date. Then what happened?
The pictures.
Oh, yeah. We were sitting, eating our entree. We got through the bottle of wine, all this stuff.
Did you guys finish the bottle?
Yeah, we did.
How many glasses did he have?
He had maybe 2 and I had the rest. I for sure was drinking more of it.
Yeah, but
like,
still 2 glasses of wine. Like for me, 1 glass gets me tipsy. 2 glasses, I'm like pretty tipsy.
yeah.
You have a concussion.
Yeah.
And 3 DUIs.
And you're driving.
And you're driving.
And you drove me here. And we're at the Ritz-Carlton. Like, what? But we finished like our entree and all that stuff, and he orders the dessert for us. The dessert comes out, and he was like, you know what? I just really want to remember this moment forever. Like, I promise this isn't going to go anywhere. Like, this picture that I'm going to take isn't going to go anywhere. But could I please take a picture of you so I can remember this forever?
It's like sweet, but also I don't know you at all.
Yeah.
We just met an hour ago.
Well, and like, not to be like mean or something, but he definitely didn't seem all there.
He had a concussion.
Yeah, yeah, but like on top of that, I was like, is there something wrong with you? Like, is there really something wrong with you?
Like, are you sure you're not on pain meds right now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, are we? I don't know. And so I was like, sure, you could take a picture of me. And yeah, like you said, little sweet things here and there. Like he was opening my car door, he's pulling out the chair for me, he's like serving my wine glass. Like he's being a gentleman, but he's just not there. It's not there.
The eyes are kind of glazed over.
Yeah. And so I take this little picture with our dessert, and he's like, oh, beautiful, blah, 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 whatever. We finish the dessert. We start to walk out of the restaurant, and he hands his phone to one of the valet guys, and he's like, excuse me, could you take a picture of us by this floral arrangement of whatever? God. And I'm like, oh God, we're on picture number 2. Like, okay, this is getting kind of, as if it weren't already super weird. It was like, okay, we've got 2 photo evidences right now. He thinks we're getting married. At this point, he's like, I'm going to show these to my kids.
Our kids.
Our kids. And so he passes his phone to the valet guy, but it's shattered from his 4th DUI.
Motorcycle accident.
Yeah. And
oh my
so
God.
I offer my phone. I'm like, here, you guys can take it on my phone. So that's how we have the picture in general.
Mm-hmm.
So in this picture, I'm literally like, help me, like, please help me.
It's a live photo. It's so funny. You could see her go.
I literally made sure that the live was on so that I could show the girls later. I was like, you guys are going to eat this one up.
Oh my God.
So we take this picture. We get back in the car. This man absolutely peels out of this valet. He, like, I'm not kidding, drifts out of the valet and then proceeds to go 80 miles an hour on the side streets back home to my house.
80 miles per hour on the side streets is insane.
Dude, I'm like, we're about to get the 5th.
No, he escaped the 4th.
Yeah, we're gonna get another one for sure because, oh my God. And so the music is still blasting, still bumping, and he was like, he yelled over to me like, do you want ox? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking like, if I'm gonna die, I have to go out listening to Beyonce. So,
As you should.
As I should. So I put on Cowboy Carter. So I put on Cowboy Carter, and I'm just like holding on to the oh shit bar and like everything for my life. I'm clutching pearls right now. I'm like, please God, get me home safely. Like, we get back home. I could not have gotten out of that car faster. Like, literally sprinted, gave him a little hug goodbye. He tried to kiss me, and I like pushed him away. I was like,
oh my God,
I love you so much. Thank you for having me. See you later. And then over the next couple of days, he did text me a couple times. He sent me a text saying like, hey, so it seems like you're not interested. Like, I hope you find someone great. And I didn't respond to that. A couple days later, he sends me a Connect 4 iMessage game.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
And I was like, okay. I didn't answer that. He texted me something else the third day, and I was like, okay, I need to block him. Like, this is kind of getting creepy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, where are these men spawning from?
I just can't, like, the concussion, the motorcycle accident, the 4th DUI.
The DUI.
This is what we're working with.
The Drake.
That alone would have been it for me.
I literally was like, right, okay, I'm going to order my Uber in the bathroom right now.
Yeah. Dude, oh my God. You should have gotten someone to Uber you.
The bar is so very low right now.
It's in hell's basement.
I don't know what's wrong with these guys, but, like, it's so hard to date people nowadays.
I know, and the worst thing is when you do finally find someone who you think is like, oh, kind of good, decent, and then they show their true colors after like 6 months, and you're like, oh, I wasted time and you're a piece of shit.
Literally.
Yeah.
The flip switches.
And they continue to be a piece of shit even after you break up. Like the crazy YouTuber ex who literally tried sending my nudes to my 11-year-old little sister.
Do we have an update on that? Like, what's going on?
No update. I'm just in contact with a lawyer, and they were like, you probably shouldn't have like publicly posted it, but whatever.
I mean, public shame sometimes works a little better than.
I agree, because the legal system really is, and I honestly don't think that anything is going to come of it, because he didn't send the photos yet, but I have like all the evidence of him planning to pay these 2 guys $2,000 each, like $4,000. And then the photos, like all the screenshots of like putting the photos of me, the photo of my little sister, her address that she lives at.
Even the stuff he was commenting on your TikTok.
Oh yeah, having paying these guys to make a fake account with the profile picture as my nude photo, but like the boobs were crossed out, and they were like, can't wait to show your little sister my profile picture. I'm sure she'll love to see. Like, I can't wait to show her how much you two really look alike. I'm like, first of all, that's a picture of my tits. She's 11. We don't look alike in that area, not yet. And I don't want a picture. What?
That's just weird.
Why are you thinking about her naked body too?
Yeah.
Like, that's really weird. And I went full FBI mode, like, ever. Like, I've never gone this full FBI mode in my life. Like, I was texting people like, how do I find an IP address? Like, I need to find the IP address of this account. Like, and finally my friend Mary, the guy who she's dating, he's like, oh, I'm like a pro at this. So he makes a fake link and sends it to me, and he's like, if you can get them to click on this link, it'll automatically notify me with their IP address, where they're from, like everything.
I love that these tools are
I know, right? I love technology sometimes. And so I am going back, and because I DM'd this account and I was like, what the is your problem?
Yeah.
Like, straight up. And so we're going back and forth. They're like, you're stupid. I'm getting paid to do this. And at first I was like, come up with a more believable lie.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that was the case yet. And then I was like, oh yeah, then explain this. And I sent the link. And he's like, I got the notification. I was like, yes. And so that's when I told him, I was like, I know that you live here. I know that like da-da-da, like I got your full IP address, you fucking idiot. So I'm going to the police. Either you're going to go down for this, or you're going to tell me who's paying you with receipts. And then they ended up telling me everything with receipts. And the other guy who was getting paid $2K, he still thought that he could get paid. And so he was like trying to say other things and like texting me on a fake number, being like, I'm going to send these to your grandma. I'm going to send these to your mom.
That's revenge porn. Like, these people also deserve
whether or not you're sending it to a minor or an adult, it's still revenge porn.
Yeah.
But you're also trying to send it to a minor. And she like has a phone, but like I don't even think it has service. But they were planning to print it out in a QR code, make it look like it's for school, and drop it off at her address so that my little sister is the one that scans it. And like, my grandma doesn't know how to scan a QR code, and crazy ex YouTuber boyfriend knows that. Like, he's met my grandma. He's the only person that's ever been to my grandma's house.
Oh my God.
And as soon as they told me who it was, I had somebody contact his father, ex YouTuber's father, and basically,
what did Daddy have to say about
I know. Yeah, what does Daddy have to say about this? And as soon as that happened, like 10 minutes later, the account on TikTok was like, yo, what the did you say something to him? Like, now he's saying he's not going to pay us. Like, we would have sent a fake QR code for you just so we could still get paid. Like, you could have at least waited till we got paid. Like, why the fuck would you say something? And I'm like, okay, that's how I know it's confirmed, because how would this person know that I just contacted?
Yeah.
Like, so obviously he was like, bro, what the fuck? I'm paying you to do this and you told her.
The fact that they were even willing to do that, like, y'all don't deserve to get paid.
And do you want to, okay, so the guy number 1 on TikTok, he was actually kind of being cool. And he was like helping me out, giving me all the receipts. Like, it seemed like he kind of liked me. Like, he was like,
probably realized he was in some deep shit.
And he was kind of like, she's kind of bad. Like,
Right.
And so he was like giving me everything. Other guy, I guess they're buddies.
Okay.
Other guy was like, I'm gonna fuck. He's like threatening me, all this shit. So I'm telling TikTok guy, I'm like, bro, like, tell your homeboy to chill. Like, what the f-? And he goes, okay, like, I have some dirt on my homeboy actually, if you want him to stop. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, tell him that Sophie texted you and Sophie's doesn't like what he's doing behind his girlfriend's back. So I'm like, okay. So I sent that to the random number. And then he's like, what are you talking about? Like, da-da-da. And then I text the other guy on TikTok. He's like, what's your email? I'll email you a picture. And I'm like, okay. So I give him my email. He emails me this guy's booty pic, his black ass in the shower, bare ass. He's closeted gay and has a girlfriend, and his dad's like super homophobic. And I'm like, I hate to do this, but I sent him the photo and I was like, if you send anything to my family, your girlfriend and your dad are getting this picture. He shut the fuck up after that. And I was like,
what?
You really didn't have to do that for me. Like, you're really outing your homeboy right now. Like, that's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I left that part out because I was like, I don't want to involve like the guys who are getting paid, because it's mostly about ex-YouTuber boyfriend, because he's the one fucking paying them to do this shit. But like that little sidebar, like that was kind of crazy. It was like a little side quest to like the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God. He's probably not friends with that dude.
No, he was literally shitting himself.
Oh my God. I love that. Though.
Yeah. So there was that. And also my video kept getting taken down about that. Like, I made a story time on it. The first time it got taken down for minor safety, because I said nudes and 11-year-old girl, I think. But also it was, so I appealed it and I was like, I'm spreading awareness. I'm not like, no minors are in danger.
Yeah.
Because I'm spreading awareness. The video got put back up. I always thought if a video gets taken down and the appeal gets approved, then it can't get taken down. Like, I thought it was like safe after that, because my video where I was talking shit on J-Lo got taken down for like harassment and bullying.
Okay.
And
J-Lo got that taken down.
Right. But then I appealed it. It got put back up and never taken down again.
Okay.
But this one, but I'm sure J-Lo also had like a million videos popping up at the time, so she wasn't like focused on me. But this one got taken down for a second time for sewer slide and self-harm.
Okay.
So, because I put the audio recording where he was like,
I'll kill myself.
I'll literally off myself and post a video on Instagram telling everyone it's your fucking fault. Like, and I'm like, do not hurt your, like, is this real? Like, are you actually gonna hurt yourself? Because I will call 911.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get you 5150, because if you actually need help, like, get help. But you're not about to say like, it's my fault. Like, I would never let somebody hurt themselves or hurt anyone else for that matter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm anti-violence.
Well, it just goes to show too, like, the extent he'll go to get what he wants.
Not to mention, he also crashed into my car, didn't pay for it. And when I contacted him, like, after we broke up, and I was like, hey, like, you still crashed into my car in your driveway, and like, I don't care if you don't want to talk to me, but at least have your manager give me your insurance information, because that's a hit and run.
Yeah.
Like,
the least you could do.
I think that's illegal.
Yeah.
Like, not to mention it's also illegal to like do rent for and all that stuff, but like my car, like my money, no response.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so
I love when that happens.
yeah. So my car still had like a little fuck up in the front, but my car was already fucked up in the front after I ran over that homeless person on accident.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you didn't know? Yeah,
I ran over a homeless person?
I ran over a homeless person, but it was not my fault, like, at all. I swear. I was driving home from my grandma's house, and I'm on like this, it's just a straight road. It's like 2 lanes going this way, 2 lanes going that way, and like a median lane in the middle. I'm in the left lane. Speed limit's 50. So I'm going 50, right? I'm on FaceTime with my best friend. But like it's in the cup holder. Like I'm like safe. Driving, like 2 hands on the wheel type driving. Mm-hmm. And it's nighttime. And all of a sudden, okay, so I see this guy who appears to be homeless because he's riding a bicycle where the bike lane would be. And he's kind of swerving back and forth like this. And I'm like, maybe he's just like having a fun time on his late night ride. But there's like a bunch of shit on the back of his bicycle, like a fishing pole sticking out the back. Like he's definitely homeless. And
like the ant with the like stick and the knapsack on the back.
And I'm like kind of keeping an eye on him because he's like going like this, you know? But he's like a whole other lane away from me. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't really have to worry because I'm in the left lane. And so I'm going, all of a sudden, he just veers left. Right, like directly, like I didn't have time to stop. Like I slammed on my brakes here and started to go into the median lane to maybe like dodge him, but he's also going this way. So I smack him. The scream he let out.
Oh my God.
Like if you've ever heard someone scream bloody murder in real life, like it was that. And he gets like sucked under my car with his bicycle and my car's going do 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 all the way until I come to a complete stop while he's screaming the entire time. And I'm like, I come to a complete stop. It's silent. And I'm like, he stopped screaming. Like, I killed him. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm like scared. Like, I don't even want to get out of my car. He pops up and he has like one glass eye. Like one eye is just white and then the other eye is blue. And he looks like a burly lumberjack type white guy with like blondish, grayish, like scraggly, curlyish hair with a bandana on his head. And he's wearing a white t-shirt. Blood all over, like his whole arm, like scraped up, road rash. And he comes bolting over to my driver's side door. And like my car, I don't know if all cars are like this, but as soon as I put it in park, my doors unlock. So when I put it in park, my doors were unlocked. And he comes and tries opening my door. I literally locked it just in time. Like he tried opening my door. And this man was on crack, like on crack for real. And he's like trying to open my door. He's like, open the door, bitch, like you owe me money. I'm like, oh, you money, like you did this on purpose, didn't you? Yeah. Like this was a check for you.
No, literally. He was and like, let me get my
he's like, you owe me money. And he like he had a headlamp on. It wasn't a bandana, it was a fucking like head flashlight. Takes it off and he starts banging it on my window. And I'm like, is he trying to smash my window?
The glass.
I'm on the phone with 911 already, and I'm like, I already told her that I hit him and everything. I'm like, now he's trying to smash my window in. Like, I don't know what to do. Am I allowed to drive away? Like, I really feel like I'm in danger. I don't want to be a hit and run and like leave him here. But also like, what do I do? And she's just like, the police are almost there. You like stay put. And I'm like, okay. So then he goes around to the front of my car and he puts his hands in my headlights and he's like, look at what you did to me.
Oh, fuck.
And he's just bleeding. And I was like, I'm like bawling my eyes out. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, it wasn't my fault.
Like hereditary.
No, it was wild. And then I like cracked my window this much and I was like, the police are on their way and an ambulance is coming.
Have you seen that video of that guy coming down on the parachute and he's like, the police are coming. They're on their way. They're up the hill.
Yes, I've seen it. And then after I said that, he just chilled. He like propped his bike back up and then he goes into his bag, grabs a pack of cigarettes, lights one up, and he's like leaned up against the front of my car smoking a cigarette, just waiting. And I'm like, okay.
That's so Lana-coded.
And I like took a video on Snapchat. I was like, and I posted on my story. I was like, bro, I just ran someone over with my car. Everyone was lighting up like, bitch, what? And yeah, so the police got there. Ambulance got there. The ambulance is like wrapping up his arm directly in front of my car. Okay. The police like take my information, insurance, everything. They give me a case number. And then they're like, they're like, okay, you're good to go. Like, you're not in trouble, Here's your case number if you want to check up later. Right, slay. And then I go, is the front of my car okay? I'm worried my bumper has fallen off. So I'm like, is the front of my car okay? Like, is my car good to drive? And he goes, go out and check. What? After I just told him this man was threatening to kill me and trying to smash my window in, saying, like, I'm going to fucking kill you, bitch. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, all this shit. I'm scared. I'm crying. And you want me to go walk over next to him and check my car? Like, you do it.
Yeah, what? You're the policeman.
I'm literally wearing, like, a little pink yoga set outfit with bows in my hair, like, crying. And you want me to, like, and I was like, can you check? And he goes, yeah. And he like goes around. He's like, you're good. I'm like, okay.
What do our tax dollars pay for?
And then I just drove away. And I was like, literally the entire drive, like silent, no music, just like.
Wait, that's fucking crazy. So nothing came of it. Like,
I don't think so.
I mean, he can't. What could he
like? What are you gonna do? Sue me with what money? Like,
yeah, and like go to court with what money?
I'm gonna see him one day on the side of the road, like need money for lawyer. No, but also it was his fault.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if you can sue someone if you jump in front of someone.
Well, that like happens too. Like
I know you can like sue someone if you rob their house and twist your ankle. Like
yeah.
I know it's, but I don't know if it's that.
I mean,
like it didn't seem like he was up.
dude, he probably had so much adrenaline. Like if he was on drugs, like just the adrenaline rush of it all. Because like it's the same like if like you get in a drunk driving accident, like the driver that's drunk won't get killed or like nothing will happen to them because their muscles are loose. Like
oh yeah, I've heard that.
The reason why people get killed from accidents like that is because they tense up.
Yeah.
And like their body can't handle that.
Yeah.
So he probably like, I mean, obviously he got banged up for sure. It's just like.
He was definitely bleeding, but I will never get the image out of my head of like his scruffy like face, like beard, everything, glass eye, dirty, like greasy hair in my window, like slamming my window with his eyes wide open. And one of them is just like white. And I'm like, oh my God, like I just hit a zombie.
Speaking of glass eye, my grandpa, rest in peace, he used to have a glass eye. He got in like a really bad car accident when he was super young and his eye got blown out. So he had a glass eye my whole life. And he would do this funny little prank where he would take his eyeball out at dinner and put it in somebody's like water cup.
What the
One time.
A funny little prank.
It was so silly of him. But one time me, my dad, my brother, and my mom were all like going to go meet up with him for dinner. We sit down at the table, whatever. My dad goes to the bathroom and he just puts it in his water. My dad comes back, takes a drink of his water, and there's just an eyeball staring at him.
What the fuck?
He would do that all the time. It was like his little bit.
Oh my God.
Not the glass eye.
Not the glass eye. I'm like, this homeless guy probably had a glass eye because he does this all the time.
Yeah, literally. He's like, when am I going to get my bag already?
Like, I lost an eye. I broke my bicycle. Like, come on.
That's so fun.
I know. I was like, why me?
I know.
I'm a safe driver.
Yeah. I've never hit a person with my car. No, I haven't hit a person. I've definitely hit another car twice. Pretty bad.
A month after that, or like 2 months after that, I got rear-ended. I was driving in Laguna on PCH. But luckily for me, it was a Laguna Beach city van that rear-ended me.
No.
And it was their fault.
You got the bag from city.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm like, Laguna, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a city girl.
Run me my check. I know you guys are rich.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, I called Josh as soon as it happened. And I was like, I just got in a car accident. Like, I'm going to be a little longer. And he's like, don't move. Tell them maybe I shouldn't put this in there.
We might cut this.
Yeah. Tell them your neck hurts. Like, da-da-da. I'm like, my neck actually did hurt, though. I was like, my neck does hurt. And he's like, well, you're not lying. I'm like, no, I'm actually not. That's real.
Take me to the hospital, please.
Yeah. Well, I went and saw my primary doctor. I did have, like, whiplash. And my neck was a little fucked up after that.
Car accidents are no fun, dude.
I know. And it's funny because, like, when it first happened, he hit me hard. And then at first I was, like, in shock, so it didn't hurt. But then, like, I got out of the car. And when I was, like, looking at my car, I was kind of like, ah. Like, I remember being like,
yeah.
And then we were parked in this parking lot, and the worker comes out. This lady, she's like, you can't park here. You can't park here. And I'm like, bitch, I just got in a car accident. Go back inside
bitch,
your...
I'm hit.
Literally, like, bitch. I'm... What?
By the city, too. Let alone, like...
Your city fucking hit me, bitch.
Yeah,
like,
what?
bye. And then after she found out, like, I was hurt, she came back out, like, 20 minutes later because I was, like, waiting for the police to get there to, like, do a report. And she comes back out with, like, a banana and a yogurt and, like, a juice box. And she was like, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were hurt.
Aww.
And I was like, thanks.
At least she was like, okay, girl, like, my bad.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I love a person who can, like...
own up to their mistakes.
Yeah.
Unlike some people.
Yeah.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, men are... unfortunately, like, I don't even want to say men are trash, but they are.
They really are.
Like, I was rooting for you guys.
Like, back in the day, our parents were able to meet each other so easily, and, like,
Yeah.
Everyone just like, there was no social media involved. There wasn't like a new pretty thing to look at every 2 seconds. And
Like, is that the problem?
dude, it's porn, I swear.
Yeah.
Like all this like clickbait stuff, like just porn too nowadays is just so like, it's brain rotting literally. And especially the kids who have started to watch it from like very young up until.
Dude, somebody showed me porn for the first time when I was in 5th grade.
Oh my God.
One of my classmates, like a boy.
Dude,
like, have you ever searched up this? And it's like blue waffle or something, and you're like,
yeah,
I'm
dude.
10.
I was like, what? I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah.
The first time I found out about sex, I was in the 2nd grade. And I remember it was like, my parents got separated for like a couple years. They're back together now. But this girl was talking to me about it. And she's like, well, do your parents still have sex? We're in the 2nd grade. We're 7 years old. And I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, you don't know what sex is? And I was like, what?
She's like, babe, let me look something up for you.
Oh my God. And like the first time I found like a little nudie image was on Pinterest.
No way.
Yes.
So it was aesthetic?
It was aesthetic, yeah, for sure. It
That's
was like
a good way to start out.
Back when like, you know, Pinterest and Tumblr were around, like super big and they first started, there wasn't like a whole lot of like monetization on them or anything. I remember I was like scrolling through my Pinterest feed and like a naked woman popped up, like big boobs. And I was like, yo, I might be gay. Like, what?
Like, why do I feel 2 heartbeats?
And then like, you know how Pinterest, you click on the image and you scroll and it'll pop up a bunch more images that are like similar to that.
You're like, oh my God, I opened a whole can of worms.
A whole new world.
That's kind of amazing.
But my parents had like, parental controls on like all of my stuff. So like at that age, like they weren't worried or thinking about it. I don't even think parental controls was like out on the iPhones yet. But as soon as they were, my parents like set up all the parental controls. Like I couldn't even go to Safari and look up like Twitter. Like,
oh, damn.
Yeah, I couldn't like have the app on my phone. I couldn't have any of this stuff because it was like 18 or 16 plus.
Yeah, that's honestly good though. I think strict parents in a way are like really good because me with my grandma, she's a grandma and she doesn't know anything about technology. Like I to this day still have to help her. I had to teach her just like a few months ago how to send a picture in an email. And when I was a little kid, it was just like, here's a laptop.
Yeah. No, literally.
I'm like, Omegle.
Yeah. Literally Omegle. Omegle was the start of all this shit.
Oh my God. And then I would like get people's kick off Omegle.
Yeah.
And then that's when things got weird. But things were already weird on Omegle, especially when I was like doing it alone at night.
Or do you remember Ask FM?
Oh my God. I would ask myself questions.
Yes.
And I would also be the biggest hater to like my friends. And I like ask questions about myself like to my friends.
Yeah. Oh my God. Ask FM was crazy. I get like.
And then my friend would be like, oh my God, somebody asked me this weird question. I'm like, that's really weird. Like, I wonder who asked you that.
Yeah. Who? What?
What's your answer?
There was this girl that I used to be really good friends with, and she got on Ask FM like super, super young, and the questions they would ask her, granted, she was 2 years older than me. We were in the same grade, but she was older because her mom held her back or something.
What grade were you in?
Dude, this had to have been like when I was a freshman in high school.
So like 14.
Yeah, I was 14. She was already 16.
Damn.
And she would get like these crazy questions. And her mom was like, oh, they're just kids. They're just being stupid. But my mom would go and look and be like, oh, fuck no. You can't have an Ask FM. You can't do
If an adult saw anything I was doing on the internet at that time.
Oh, my God. And you're right. Like, it was nice to have strict parents who, like, did all that stuff. But
at the time, it sucked.
Also, though, like, I found my way around things.
Really?
For sure, dude. Like, there was so many. I can't even think about them now because I haven't had parental controls in so long. But, yeah, there was, like, certain keywords that I could, like, look up to get to certain sites. Or, like, I could, like, be sent a link and, like, click on the link and it would pop up.
Oh, shit.
But I couldn't, like, directly search things.
Yeah.
So I found my way around.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I wasn't like the worst kid, but
yeah,
the parental controls, like, I figured them out.
Yeah.
I can't speak. I figured them out pretty early.
Yeah. I totally forgot about Ask FM. Also, Kick. I have a villain origin story that comes from Kick because my best friend in 7th grade, okay, she did like, I think she went to another elementary school maybe, so she like knew the kids that went to that middle school. But I was talking to this guy from a different middle school, and I was so in love with him. And we were like texting on Kik every day. And she's like, oh my God, I literally know him. Like, we went to the same school last year, like in 6th grade or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, like, really? Do you guys like hang out? Like, how good do you know him? She's like, yeah, actually, like, I can hang out with him and put in a good word for you and like get you guys to hang out. I'm like, yes, please. Not but 2 days later, she changes her Kik profile picture to them kissing.
Oh, what?
On the golf course.
Not the golf course.
And that was probably the first moment in my life where like I had that heart drop over like, a boy.
My man.
Yeah, my man. Like, hello. That was, and then they started dating after that.
Dude, there was this girl who full blown made up a fake boyfriend on Kik and Instagram. And we did cheer together, and she would be like, look at my boyfriend, Michael. Like, he's so cute. And like, these were Pinterest pictures. Like, no way this man is your boyfriend.
Like a grown man.
We're 13 years old, and this man's taking black and white studio photos. Yeah. That's his Kik profile. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, okay. And she fully, like, made us believe that they were boyfriend and girlfriend. She had separate accounts for herself and then him. And she would go and make him comment on her Instagram photos, but it was her. Like, she was commenting for herself.
Oh, my God.
And she would, like, text him all the time on Kik and like
text herself back.
Literally her texting herself back, and she would send herself like the aesthetic, like my boyfriend. Like, remember back in like 2015, 2016, like couple goals was really like a thing, and it was like cute text that your boyfriend would send to you. Like, she would like post and like show us stuff like that of like, look at how cute he is. And it was like,
how did you guys find out?
Poetry. Because, like, we got older. And we were like, that was a fake boyfriend for sure. Yeah. But she had us fooled there for, like, a decent month.
Damn. There was this one girl in middle school, too, who I knew, her boyfriend was 24.
Oh, what the
Yeah, and I didn't even think anything of it at the time. Oh, my God. And, like, she would brag about him all the time. Like, he's taking me out to dinner tonight, like, all this stuff. And we'd be like, oh, my gosh, like.
This is why my kids are not having
a phone. I look back and I'm like. 16. Crazy.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Nope, sorry. My kids will not have access to any of
No, and I hate to be like that parent who like alienates their kids from like interacting or like being the rest of the kids. Like, I don't know. Like, everyone else has it. I don't give a I don't give a flying. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No.
Yeah. But anyways, that's our episode for today. Lots of tea was spilled, and yeah. Do you guys like Abby?
Please. I want to come back.
I like Abby. Every time we talk,
I love Kaylee.
I love you more.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Anytime. So literally anytime. I'm going to have you on after every one of your bad dates.
Please.
The girls need to know.
Oh my God. If this man literally treats me any type of way foul again, I'm going to kill myself.
No, kill him.
For real.
Yeah. Don't target yourself. Target.
I know where you live.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching our episode, and we love you so much.
We love you.
This is Girlhood. Bye.
Hi.
Mm-hmm. Hmm? I didn't talk about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what are you doing?
Just stretching.
Why are you? What is that?
What?
What's on your arm? What is that?
What's what?
On your arm. Josh, get in here.
Oh my God.
Why?
Oh.
I can't really see it from here.
Your arm is shaved.
Why is your arm shaved?
What are you talking about? I've been trimming my arm lately a little better in the gym.
Can I see it a little closer?
See what? I really don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I got you.
He got my name tattooed on his arm. Alec, did you know about this? Oh my God.
Hi.
This is Abby.
What's up, Andy?
They smell good.
What? Let me adjust them for you. What? What's wrong? I don't understand.
Huh?
What's wrong?
Let me
Why
see.
is- why is that-
Let me see your arm. No, let me see this one. Is that real?
No, it's a little stick up there.
Is it? No, come closer.
I just shaved it with a stick on it.
It's real. Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
What?
You're crazy.
Wow, you're crazy. You had the same thing.
Okay.
What?
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
What? What do you mean,
Thank you for
okay?
the okay. I don't know what to say.
Let's zoom out of this reaction. What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just in shock.
What?
Your tattoo
What tattoo?
on your arm of my name.
I should look like the devil in this.
Excuse me. I don't look like the devil.
She's the angel.
Yeah.
Your eyes are red. That's what's in focus.
You're red.
There's that.
Show the camera.
Hmm?
Show the camera.
Here we go. What? Are you still bringing on me? What?
Can't now.
So you wanted to?
Alec, did you know about this?
I had no idea when you called in. Keep running. Not me. Keep running.
Why don't you want to be in it?
I kept you down, but you got a better reaction. All you're saying is,
I don't know what to say.
What? You need good clips.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not gonna bring up the devil?
Oh, my God. What?
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 Do you not like it?
I like it's actually it's a pretty tattoo.
Is it pretty?
Yeah, and it's way bigger than mine. And it's not hidden where you were gonna show them where you were going to originally get it.
By my bottom, like
Hidden.
it's not hidden.
Well, when you wear a t-shirt, you can't even see it.
It's on my heart. What do you mean?
Oh, please.
What do you mean, please?
Oh, please.
I got it.
And that's why you got it there.
Oh, I got it there because you would complain if I didn't.
You should get Kaylee like all over, like get a full sleeve of
I
Kaylee.
like the Louis Vuitton.
You
tattoo.
need like a portrait.
Yeah.
Like the Louis Vuitton.
Oh,
tattoo.
my face.
Yeah.
A portrait you want though?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Think a portrait would be good?
Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah. Right above it.
Yeah.
Like people. The only time I've ever seen people do it is like dogs. Like get like a picture of their dog and like their name under it.
You're calling me an animal?
No.
Okay.
So Abby, you didn't answer a question. How do you feel about this?
It's fine, I guess.
Oh wow. That's horrible. Abby, speak the truth right now. Come on.
We still got that laser appointment